Years this year. These are the two founders here. That's how they look like when they started the Hard Rock. This is 40 years history. And this is myself, Rita here. And Townsend and oh God, what's their names? Freddie Mercury and all them.
Yeah, Freddie,
the Hard Rock.
my favourite.
Because I tell you why, because it was he had the first Hard Rock party, and I served him. I served Lennon, served the whole lot of them. Very early 70s, 71, 72, 73. But I tell you one thing, in the beginning, you see, you have to remember those kids, the Beatles, the Stones, the Who, everyone, the Freddie Mercury, they were going to the Dorchester or the Hilton, and you can imagine when they sat down, there's 8 knives, 8 forks, and thinking, Jesus, where do we start here? But they came in the Hard Rock, they could pick up the hamburger, drink onto the neck of the bottle, and have a joint as well. Because that's what made the place, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I just did an interview this morning, actually. They said, what was the ingredient of the menu? Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's what made the place, I said. Now it's a corporate-owned, we're global now. Whereas when I first started, I mean, when I look back in the 70s, and they used to all come in big velvet coats and the big platform shoes, you know, and all the gold chains and everything, and we smoking dope, and it was just sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's why it worked. That's why it worked. We got rid of all the shit, you know, all the yes sir, no sir. There was none of that. It was Jerry, what your name was, you know, how are you today? And it was like, good morning, sir. That, we got rid of that, you know. We opened the first classist restaurant back in 1971. And 40 years on, we're still rocking and rolling. They're still lining up outside the door. How the memorabilia started was a few years after we opened, maybe 3 or 4 years, Eric Clapton used to be in. And he was at the bar one day, and he came in and he had a case with a guitar in it. And Isaac, one of the founders, was behind the bar. And he said, Isaac, that's for you. And Isaac opened the thing. He said, I don't play the goddamn guitar. He said, and he looked at it, I said, right, why don't we hang it on the wall? So that was the first guitar to go on the wall. About a month later, no, about 2 weeks later, Pete Towns heard about this, came down, smashed, I was there when it happened, he smashed his guitar and said, mine's as good as his, get that up, he said. Today we got 87,000 pieces. We rotate them, we got 139 Hard Rocks, which I've opened 135 of them worldwide. I've been to 52 countries I've been to now. And we rotate the memorabilia every 5 years. The most expensive piece we've got at the moment is right in London. It's the Jimi Hendrix Flying V. That was the last guitar he played in the Isle of Wight. In the Isle of Wight before he died, about a week before he died.
Wow.
And we had that in London. It's worth $1 million. And when I hold it a lot on the papers for press and that, I have to have bodyguards all around me. That's the most expensive piece we've got, you know. And it's in London. And anybody ever comes to London, my number, and if I'm there, as I say, I'm always on the road, but if I am there, I would love to show you the vault. We have a vault there. The vault was a bank owned by Queen Elizabeth I, and it was called Coots Bank, and you couldn't go in there in 1970 unless you had £50,000. It's probably 50 million today. And none of the Irish people go over there because they haven't got any money here now, you know. Only Rita.
Recession.
Recession, yeah. But we've got a vault downstairs, and it's where Queen Victoria used to keep the gold bullion. The doors are that thick. And right down the vault, which I'm going to show you in a minute, is all the best pieces. Freddie Mercury's chairs there, Freddie Mercury's bedspread, Freddie Mercury's everything in there. Fats Domino's trumpet, all the best stuff is in there. Elvis's suit when he was in the army in Germany. We've got it all there, you know, and it's the only one in the world that we've got a vault. It's a free tour. It lasts about 15 minutes. We've got a guy called Jimmy there, Scottish guy, who's absolutely great. He knows the history of every piece that's in there, and he will tell you. You can take pictures, you can do what you like. 15-minute free tour. So if you're in London, if you go to the Hard Rock for the best food, you can sit beside a banker or a baker, it doesn't matter, a millionaire, it doesn't matter who you are at the Hard Rock, all is one. That's our motto. We love all serve, all is one. But you've got to go to the vault. It's a free tour. And don't forget to buy the t-shirt. Keep the doors open, so I've got a fucking job, you know?
Now, Rich, I see you have a Gibson over here.
This is a Gibson. Now, I opened, we relocated New York in 2005 from 57th Street. We went down to where was it? To Times Square.
Yes. And
old Mr. Gibson, who died last year at the age of 98, I think. He's about 94 at this time.
Yes.
He said, Rita, do you have a Gibson? I said, no, I don't. I said, I'm getting one back. So this was specially made for me, this one. It came over from Orlando in a beautiful black and red velvet case. and it's signed. It's Mother of Pearl, I believe. Don't know much about guitars, but it's Mother of Pearl. It's made especially for me, and it's signed by a lot of the staff in the corporate office in Orlando. You know, we've got a watch comb there. We've got a warehouse there with over 100,000 pieces of memorabilia, and I just had a tour of it about 6 weeks ago. I was there, you know, and that's the guitar. And God bless them. May he rest in peace. You know. I said, Rita, you rock my world.
Gee, fair play them.
And
fair play them.
Yeah, they do. Rita, all the best, Tom. Yeah, no, they're all just the people I know. You know, I love the red-headed mother. You are, oh, I can't even breathe them, you know. Rita, you are the best ambassador and making our company rock on forever.
Oh,
nice,
great, Richard.
Yeah,
that's great.
And this guitar here is belonging to, and in Hyde Park we have, a party every year. We have, it's called the Ambassadors of, we are the Ambassadors of Rock. It starts in London, the Hard Rock. Last year I introduced Neil Young, Paul McCartney, and the one he plays was, Steve Van plays was Bruce Springsteen. I introduced them all on stage in front of 90,000 people.
Wow. And
the after show party is my party. It's called the lovely Rita after show party.
Oh,
and they all come there and there's but there's no sex. And they get pissed out of their head and they're sore head. And this guitar I smashed with Mr. Gibson. But this was Stevie's guitar, Stevie Van Zandt's. Yeah, right, sorry.
Leave that, you're okay.
Stevie Van Zandt's. And what we do when we do an opening is we don't cut ribbons, we smash guitars. So he came down Broadway with a Live 8 guitar, which Bob Geldof gave him, signed by a lot of stars. He came down in an armoured truck down Broadway, and it stopped about 10 minutes away from the cafe. We had a red carpet going straight across. I walked the red carpet, the armoured truck opened, and he handed me the Live 8 guitar. I carried it across Broadway, and they stopped the traffic for Rita Ryan from Finbar's Terrace for 15 minutes in Times Square.
No,
and
my God.
Also, when I was about 15 years of age, when I arrived in London, 16 probably, I was in Piccadilly one day, about a week after I arrived, and my father bought a house in Ballinfield for £400 that time. You probably get one up there for now with the recession, you see. You get one now in Kingston for £400. Anyways, my father bought a house, so I went from there to England, and we had no lighting or nothing. And when I got to Piccadilly, I remember saying, I looked up and the lights went on and off and off and back, and I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. Wrote to my mother, and I was only like about 60 at the time. And on my 50th birthday, about a couple of days before that, there was a man in the restaurant with the general manager, and the general manager called me over, and he said to the man, this is Rita, she's been here since day one. And the makeup must have been good that day, because he said, you must be about 10 when you started. And I was 30 when I started, you know. I actually lied about my age. I said I was 32, because they wanted older women. So, but I got the job anyway. And do you know how I got the job? He wasn't going to give it to me. And when I saw this little shit, 21 years of age, and his mate opened the Hard Rock, I was 30 years of age with 2 children, a husband, and a mortgage like a hump on my back. And this guy turned around, he said to me, Rita, you know, you're great, but you're too young for the job. And I said to him, listen, I'm the best you're going to fucking get, you better take me. And he gave me a high five, and that's how I started. But anyway, that day in Piccadilly, that day, 2 days before my birthday, they rang me. They said, Rita, you've got an interview with the Evening Standard. And I said, no, I'm not going down Friday. If I'm in London, I'm always in Portobello Friday, you know. So with that, and he said, Rita, you've got to come. He said, Rita, you've got to come down to, you've got to do this interview. So I came down, and it was my 50th birthday, but it was a trick to get me down. And they gave me, I came in, they gave me a glass of champagne, which you never have, but I had that anyway. And I'm not a champagne drinker, by the way. I'd rather have a pint of Guinness and Paddy Vase on the sun tonight. And that's the best pub in Ireland.
The second, I'll be with you.
Absolutely, the best pub in Ireland, Paddy Vase. Now, anyway, so with that, anyway, then they announced it was my birthday, and these 4 guys came in. I don't know who they were, but they said, Rita, you don't remember us, but we remember you. Used to give us free soup or free chips. And I said, geez, don't tell them that. Because sometimes the kids come in, 2 of them might order burgers, others might have nothing, they might have no money. So I'd always give them a soup or a plate of chips or a few Cokes, you know. And they were curious to kill the cat. And we had lunch together, and they had a number 1 in the charts. This is 1985 now. Well, when I was 50 anyway, you know. No, it's 1981. I'm 70 now this year. So it's 20 years ago. Yeah. And they took me down to Piccadilly, and that man that I was talking to that day, he was a director of Coca-Cola, or a chairman of Coca-Cola. He paid £11,500 to put my name up in lights in Piccadilly. They blindfolded me. Little did he know that I was a young girl, 35 years before that, looking up at a chap called Jeff Chandler, which I know you wouldn't know. He was like the Frank Sinatra of the days, you know. And looking at his name, never thought 35 years more or less today my name be up in lights. And it was up there for 4.5 hours, and he paid £11,500 to do me. So I had the lights of London shone on me. I had the Times Square. 15 minutes traffic was stopped. And I had a night out from the Queen of England. Not bad. My father probably fucking cut my throat off if he knew about the night out, you know. But he's dead now anyway, you know. Anyway, that's it.
And that's
so
the
that's
guitar.
that guitar, yeah. And I work with Ozzy Osbourne. You know Ozzy?
Ozzy, I do, of course,
I've got
yes.
pictures up, so we go upstairs and see
Jeez,
that.
Ozzy.
My knees are not good now, so I have
No, you're grand.
just go a little slow, you know. You can't see the house I was born in, but you can see the terraces from over here. These are little, they went up, I nicked them actually out of the grand opening. I done that in Boston. We moved to Faneuil Square, you know. So they were in the goodie bag, so I nicked a few of them out of that. There's a guitar here from every hard rock in the world. I go to the leadership conference every day, and everyone's told to bring a guitar, and it's turn it up, and it's, you know, and there are different pins from around the world, you know. I don't see a biker one of this. No, that's not a biker one. Is it a biker one? No, I don't think so. No, don't see a biker one. So maybe there wasn't one made that year, you know. But we do have biker ones made, you know. And this is me and my lovely daughter here. My lovely daughter Tara, my Irish Colleen.
Beautiful.
That's lovely.
Beautiful.
Yeah, she's a lovely girl. Lovely
Gorgeous.
girl. And I've got 2 sons as well, you know. This is, what's her name? Do you know her name? She does a lot of charity with me, this one. Just Stone.
Okay.
And this is, my mother's dead now, but I wish you saw this. This is when I done the speech at the GMIT, and it said, of your visit as guest lecturer. Can you believe that? Left school. And this down here, a few months back, and I'd done 6 cities in 2 days. And this here, I was from Osaka. He signed it here. 16 years of age, just joined the company 2 weeks before his grandmother. And this boy hand painted me in a kimono. He actually made me thin, you know, and he'd never met me in his life. Now, I'm in a lot of textbooks. I'm in textbooks in universities of stuff I say, you know.
Yes.
And somehow, but he hand painted me in the Japanese colours. And God bless them today. They're in a bit of spot of trouble today, you know.
Oh, God.
And this is my old friend Paul McCartney down there.
Oh, yourself a Paul.
Paul McCartney, he's up. Paul McCartney, yeah. And our shop is called Reese's Place, and we don't even talk half the time. This is Ozzy Osbourne. I do the every year I do the Northrop Robins, which children who are again handicapped, you know. And the Silver Cliff Award, which is the highest award in the world, goes to the best star, and I've given it to him. I've given it to Eric Clapton. I've given it to Pete Townsend. I've given it to Ozzy Osbourne. I gave it to Noel Gallagher, and he danced with me around the stage. And he sang with Irish eyes are smiling. And I've given it to Paul Young. I've given it to everybody, yeah. And I'm working with him in this year on Friday. Oh no, Saturday, the 26th of June. He's in Hyde Park. John Bon Jovi, and he's a great friend of mine. And I work with him. This is Gloria Hunniford, and this is Springsteen's. Not Springsteen. It's is his name on that? What's it?
Sure, I can't see now.
World Tour, yeah.
World Tour in 1992.
It is Springsteen, yeah. Springsteen. Is that who's that there? Can you see who that is?
Sure.
Is that Springsteen? Sorry, love, yeah.
It's Jesus, a long time since I seen Springsteen. Is it?
I think it's Springsteen, yeah. And that's his guitar. He donated that, and that's for cancer. Right. That's for cancer. I do that. My fucking machines have to fall down.
You're grand. You take your time.